Brethren, it's me again, and I'm coming to you with words from the Word, words that have blessed my heart, words that have encouraged me, and my intention is to share those words with you that you can be encouraged. Always remember, these devotions are based on words from the Word. We have found out that God is great. And I can say, great is thy faithfulness. That's the theme of what we are looking at. But we have a little sub-theme, and that is, I know, Lord, your faithfulness did it. In our last devotion, we looked at the psalmist confess, you, Lord, you did it. You, Lord, you did it. He said, before I was afflicted, I went astray. My afflictions, Lord, you did it. And he's not blaming God. He's commending God. And the last devotion, he testified and said, you are good and you do good. He said, teach me your sovereign way, law, and acts. And then I like what he said in verse 78 of Psalms 100. He said, let the proud be ashamed, for they dealt perversely with me without a cause, but I will meditate on thy precepts. That's why I love the song entitled, My Father Planned It All. The third stanza says, he guides my faltering footsteps along the weary way, for well he knows my pathway will lead to endless day. I sing through the shade and the sunshine. I trust him whatever befall. I sing, for I cannot be silent. My Father planned it all. What a beautiful portion of Scripture in Psalms 119 that we are looking at. Let's build a little bit on where we stopped in our last devotion. In our last devotion, I said to you that our union with God presents us with a package. Come with me to Romans chapter 8 and verse number 28 and 30. He said, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Now some people would say, well, we know that all things work together for good. See, the Bible said, that's telling a lie on the Bible. The Bible did not say that. The Bible said, all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. The them are the ones who love God, and the them are the ones who are called according to his purpose. But in verse number 29, he says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. The psalmist said something in Psalms 34 and verse number 1. He said, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. May I say to you today that God is in charge and he's looking out for our best interests. Always remember that. God is in charge and he's looking out for our best interests. And the psalmist is not afraid to let people know what's going on in my life. God did it. Whether it looks good or it looks bad. There's a reason why he did it. He's in charge. He's looking out for our best interests. Paul wrote to the Philippian believers in the first chapter and verse 6, he says, being confident of this very thing. What, Paul? What is this thing? He said that he which had begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. You need not give up when things are not going the way you want them to go. They may be just going the way that God wants them to go. You say, but it doesn't look good. But that's okay. God is working all things out for good. So the psalmist say, God, I know you did it. But the psalmist confess what the Lord does is right. And that is something that all of us must always pay attention to. What God does is right. is correct. You say, Pastor, why would you say what God does is right? Based on what the psalmist said, based on what is recorded in the Word. Psalms 119 and verse number 75. I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are right, and that thou in faithfulness hast afflicted me. He said, I know, Lord, your judgments are right. Lord, your laws are righteous. He's a man who is afflicted. The psalmist, no doubt, is suffering. But he said, Lord, you are right in afflicting me. Many times when we are afflicted, we begin to ask ourselves, why me, Lord? Why do I have to go through all of this? And many times I ask myself, why not me? Why would I want somebody else to go through it? Why would God bring something to somebody that he has designed for me? Or why would he bring it to me that he has designed for you? The results is what he wants in the life of the person that he has allowed this thing to come to. When affliction or trouble comes our way, what will be our attitude? The last time you were afflicted, what was your attitude? And maybe you are afflicted now. What's your attitude? Sometimes when affliction comes our way in our prayer to God, many times you hear people just change from speaking to God and say, Satan, I rebuke you. Will we see this from Satan? Because it's not putting money in our pockets, because it is not what we call blessing us, is it from Satan? As children of God, if God is your master, if he is your Lord, if he's in control, as his children, we should be able to say, Lord, you are right. And that's what the psalmist is saying. Whatever comes our way as children of God, knowing nothing can come our way unknowing to God. God can only do that which is right. Always remember that. God cannot do that which is wrong. It may look wrong in your eyes, but it is right with God. The psalmist will tell us, whatever it is, whether it is loss of a loved one, sorrow, tears, disappointment, pain, sickness, whether we are lame, blind, deaf, dumb, or financially broke, whatever it may be, if God permitted it, then, brethren, always remember, it is right. Listen to the words found in Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I warn and I heal. Neither is there any can deliver out of my hand. Job understood it well. When he said to his wife in Job chapter 2, verse 10, but he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speakest. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. My brethren, the truth of the matter is, the Lord is sovereign, and what he does is right. Whatever he does. Listen to this shocking portion of Scripture. Isaiah 45, verse 5 to 7. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I guarded thee, thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, and that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. If we will get a clear understanding of the God that we serve, our lives would be different. We will live a more joyful life. We would live a better life. And even when it comes to the end of our lives, we'll be ready to say, God, you did it. Yes, I know that we can stop and say it's God who brought us through all of this. God is the one responsible for where I am. But God is also the one responsible for allowing these things to come in my life to make me what he would have me to be. Nothing can pass without him. He either does it or he allows it. And the psalmist said, Lord, you did it. What is it that you're going through in your life that God has allowed to come your way? Maybe it's chastening just to bring you back to him. Hey, don't let it make you bitter. Let it make you bitter because God loves you. My time is up. When I make you a promise, I'm not through with this yet. I must come back and share another devotion from this portion of Scripture. And I trust that your heart would be encouraged. I trust that you won't just shut me off. I trust that you will listen carefully and see what the Scripture says, because it is words from the Word. Even me, myself. Sometimes when I see these things, I have to look at them the second time and then accept, hey, God is always right. Thanks for sharing. May God bless you. We love you. Continue serving the Lord. Whatsoever state you're in, be content. Be not dismayed. Whatever betide, God will take care of you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.